The Bills and Bengals met in Ohio this week for a potential playoff preview. Which team came out on top? The Giants traveled out to Vegas this week. Could they finally hit the jackpot and get their first victory? Or did the house win like always? And after beating the number 2 and 3 overall picks from the draft this year, could Bryce Young and the Panthers beat the number 4 overall pick? All this and more coming up here on Tecmo Rewind. Hello everyone and welcome to Tecmo Rewind. I'm your host Joe, here to bring you all the highlights from around the league. Week 9 is done, which means we are now officially halfway through the season. And of course, around this time is when it gets real exciting, because this is where the storylines that started in the beginning of the year really start to unfold. You start to see which teams are at the best, which teams need some help, and which teams could be sneaky little playoff players and try to get in under the radar. Of course, in order to find that out, we need to see how any of these teams did this week. So, of course, we're going to start with the actual highlights. And we'll begin our highlights with an NFC East matchup. The Cowboys in Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. First quarter, Hurts going to try and run forward, but he gets taken down from behind by Osa Odigizua for a 4-yard sack. A couple plays later, he's going to hook up with Devontae Smith. No one around to get him this time. It's a 51-yard touchdown, put the Eagles up 7-0. On the ensuing Cowboys drive, first drive for them in the game, CeeDee Lamb dives for this catch, and he's going to keep on going into Philadelphia territory for a 59-yard catch. Fortunately, they couldn't really do anything with it in Eagles territory, so Brandon Aubrey needs to kick a 22-yard field goal to make it 7-3. Cowboys would get the ball back near the end of the first quarter, however, and CeeDee Lamb catches this 15-yarder to put the Cowboys up 10-7. Second quarter, a throw for A.J. Brown gets intercepted by Malik Hooker, so the Cowboys get the ball back and drive down the field. Prescott throws for Brandon Cooks in the back of the end zone to put them up 17-7. On the ensuing Eagle drive, Hurts, play action, rolls to his right. Who's he going to look for? A.J. Brown, and this time he connects with him for a 53-yard touchdown to make it 17-14. However, at the end of the half, this is bad news for any Eagles fans. Jalen Hurts injured yet again. He was injured early in this season. Thankfully, he only missed about a game or two. It was on a 6-yard loss of a run, so Marcus Mariota would have to come in. Third quarter, Tony Pollard punches in a 7-yard touchdown to make it 24-14 Cowboys. On the Eagles' next drive, handoff to DeAndre Swift, and this does not only not get to the line of scrimmage, but now he is hurt, which means that Kenneth Gainwell is going to come in to replace him. A couple plays later, man in motion for the Eagles. Mariota, play action, roll to his right. Of course he's going to throw for A.J. Brown, and Brown's going to leap up to make this 45-yard touchdown and make it 24-21. On the ensuing Cowboys drive, Prescott throws for Tony Pollard. Instead, he finds Darius Slay, who gets the pick six to make it 28-24 Eagles. Cowboys on their next drive, Prescott going to throw for CeeDee Lamb, and Lamb going to get into Philly territory and then some, a 56-yard catch. They drive down the field a little extra, and Tony Pollard going to run it in for an 8-yard touchdown, puts the Cowboys back on top 31-28. On the next drive for the Cowboys in the fourth quarter, Prescott looks and throws for Brandon Cooks again, 24-yard touchdown makes it 38-28. On the ensuing Eagles drive, however, Mariota throws for Devontae Smith. And Devontae Smith gonna take this one all the way to the 1-yard line. Gets stopped, but on the very next play, Mariota gonna play action, roll to his right. He's gonna throw for Quez Watkins. Yes, he does. It's a 38-35 Cowboys lead. On the ensuing kick return, Kavontae Turpin, he's gonna take this one 36 yards before he's finally stopped. Couple plays later, Prescott throws for Brandon Cooks, who is going to make this touchdown 45-35 Cowboys. Eagles still have some time, but they need some help. Mariota with the play action roll to his right. Of course he's going to throw for A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown is money in these situations. And A.J. Brown going to take this one to the 10-yard line. 73-yard catch. A couple plays later, Mariota going to get wrapped up and taken down by Osa Odigizua. 5-yard sack, so it's 4th and 15. Mariota tosses for Gainwell. Gainwell tries to get to the line of scrimmage. He can't. It's a turnover on downs, and Dallas comes away with the victory, 45-35 over the Eagles. They improve to 6-1 and take on the Giants next week. Meanwhile, Philadelphia drops to 3-5. They have a bye week next week before they head to Kansas City for a rematch of Super Bowl 57. Colts taking on the Panthers. Danny Richardson and Miles Sanders both returning for their respective teams. First quarter, Bryce Young going to throw for DJ Chark. He's going to take this one for a 27-yard touchdown, makes it 7-0 Panthers. On the ensuing Colts drive, Richardson going to try and run forward with it before he's taken down by Frankie Louvu for a 4-yard sack. On the next drive for Carolina, they throw for Hurst. Hayden Hurst is intercepted by Darrell Baker Jr. He's going to take it back the other way. Very next play, Richardson tries to run forward, successfully does, and finds Alec Pierce for the 27-yard touchdown, ties this game up at 7. On the Panthers' next drive, Zaire Franklin gets to Bryce Young for a 4-yard sack. A couple plays later, Young driving down the field before he's taken down by Samson Ebukam for a 5-yard sack. Very next play, Young immediately gets found by Ebukam for a 9-yard sack. They're forced to punt. Second quarter, Richardson going to play action, roll to his left. He's going to look for Michael Pittman Jr. for the 12-yard touchdown, make it 14-7 Colts. Ensuing drive for the Panthers, Young runs forward and connects with DJ Chark. Chark has to dive for this one, and unfortunately that need to dive and get caught up on him. He will get taken down. However, very next play, Young connects with Chark again, this time in the end zone, tied up at 14. Panthers will get the ball back for the Colts punt, and Chark gonna score again, this time to give the Panthers the lead, 21-14. Ensuing kick return, Deion Jackson breaks a tackle, keeps running forward, gonna make this a 30-yard kick return. However, at the end of the half, they need some points. Colts go with Matt Gay for 51-yard field goal, make it 21-17. Third quarter, Young gonna throw for DJ Chark yet again. This one gonna be a 23-yard touchdown, make it 28-17 Panthers. However, on the Colts drive, they drive down the field, and Richardson throws for Michael Pittman Jr. for a 1-yard touchdown, 28-24. On the next drive for the Panthers, Young barely gets it off for DJ Chark again, and Chark, can he? Could he? Will he? He will not. And he's taken down, but it's a 67-yard catch. And the very next play, another hookup with DJ Chark makes a 22-yard touchdown, make it 35-24 Panthers. On the ensuing drive for the Colts, Pittman Jr.'s attempted catch, intercepted by Xavier Woods. Very next play, however, a handoff to Miles Sanders is a fumble, and it's picked up by Grover Stewart of the Colts, who nearly makes it a scoop and score. However, the Colts can't do much with it, so they have to rely on Matt Gay's leg for a 25-yard field goal. Makes it 35-27. Colts go for the onside kick. They're going to need it since they're down by 8, and they will successfully recover this one. A couple of plays later, Deion Jackson on a 4th down makes the 4th down conversion on a 4-yard run, and a couple plays later, when they drive down the field, he makes a 3-yard touchdown, makes it 35-34. Young gets taken down by Zaire Franklin for the 6-yard sack. They're forced to punt. Richardson, play action, rolls to his left. He's got an open man in Michael Pittman Jr., who's going to take this one to the house. It's 41-35 Colts, so the Panthers need some help. Young going to take a patient time before throwing for DJ Chark. DJ Chark, no one going to stop him, makes an 84-yard touchdown to make it 42-41. Colts need some help here. Michael Pittman Jr. makes this catch, but he's still in Colts territory, but it's enough for a first down. 1:25 to go. Handoff to Deion Jackson, going to barely get to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10. Richardson, play action, rolls to his left, throws for Michael Pittman Jr. He's into Panthers territory this time, but he's not going to get into the red zone. Less than a minute to go. Colts got a man in motion. Richardson not going to play action, just going to run it himself. He's going to barely get past the line of scrimmage. 35 seconds. Richardson, play action, roll to his left, throws for Mo Alley Cox, but it's incomplete. It's like an Alabama-Florida game up in here. Throw for Michael Pittman Jr. gets him to about the 10-yard line, but they don't have any timeouts. They got to call a field goal. They can't. The Panthers barely get the victory here, 42-41 over the Colts. Indianapolis drops to 2-6. and they have to take on New England next week. Carolina improves to 6-1. How about that? And next week, they head to Chicago to take on the team that let them draft Bryce Young this year. So we saw what the Colts did. How did their division rivals do? Well, the Texans and Jaguars are playing each other this week. First play of the game, literally the kick return. Jamal Agnew going to take this one to 37 yards. Sets up the Jaguars for really good field position. However, on the next play, literally first play from scrimmage, Lawrence gets taken down by, let's say, Malik Collins, because that's what everyone else is saying. 4-yard sack. They drive down the field a little more. They try to rely on Brandon McManus' leg, but it's a 66-yarder, so game stays tied at nothing. CJ Stroud tries to run forward, but Foye Oluokun stops him from going any farther, so it's a 1-yard sack. Travis Etienne on the Jaguars' next drive punches in for a touchdown, makes it 7-0 Jacksonville. On the ensuing Texans drive, Stroud going to get taken down by Adam Gotsis. Texans would be forced to punt. Next drive for the Jaguars, they drive down the field second quarter. Christian Kirk going to take this 7-yard touchdown catch to make it 14-0 Jaguars. On the ensuing drive for the Texans, Foye Oluokun again gets a 2-yard sack this time on CJ Stroud. They drive down the field, and Stroud would look and find Dalton Schultz for the 17-yard touchdown, makes it 14-7. Jaguars still have the lead, though. On the ensuing drive for the Jaguars, Lawrence tries to throw to his left for Evan Ingram. Instead, he finds Steven Nelson, who gets the pick and puts the Texans in good field position for Dameon Pierce to make a 12-yard touchdown run, tied up at 14. Ensuing Jaguars drive, Lawrence throws over the middle, but he thought he was going to get Christian Kirk here. He gets Jalen Peter instead. At the end of the second quarter, Kaimi Fairbairn brought out for the 38-yard field goal, makes it 17-14 Texans. Third quarter, Stroud tries to run forward. However, he's going to get wrapped up and taken down by Adam Gotsis. And very next play, Stroud tries to run forward and is taken down by Foye Oluokun again. 4-yard sack, then a 3-yard sack. They'd be forced to punt on the very next play. Jamal Agnew fumbles the ball. It bounces around a bit before it's picked up by Devin Lloyd. And Lloyd going to take this one to just outside of midfield. They drive down the field a little more, and Brandon McManus makes a 21-yard field goal, ties this game up at 17. Fourth quarter, Texans drive down the field, and Dameon Pierce, 2-yard punch in for a touchdown, makes it 24-17. On the ensuing drive, Denzel Perryman gets to the Jaguars 10-yard sack. Fourth quarter, fourth down, Lawrence throws for Calvin Ridley, and Calvin Ridley going to make this a 46-yard first down that gets into Texans territory. A couple plays later, Lawrence going to get wrapped up before he's taken down by Christian Harris this time for a 3-yard sack. So it's 4th and 5. Lawrence in shotgun formation, and he's going to try and run it himself. That's a bad idea, says the Houston defense. They take him down, turnover on downs. Ensuing Texans drive, Foye Oluokun gets to Stroud again for a 3-yard sack. A couple plays later, Stroud tries throwing to his left for Nico Collins. Instead, it's Andre Sisco who gets the interception. So, Jaguars still have some life in them. Lawrence throws for Calvin Ridley. Ridley, can he? Could he? Will he? He dodges a tackle and scores to tie this game up at 24. Texans, less than 2 minutes to go. Fourth quarter, throw for Woods, not going to be complete. Then Roy Robertson gets the 7-yard sack, so they're pushed back. And off to Dameon Pierce. Pierce going to get past the line of scrimmage and get the first down, but he doesn't get too much farther. He gets to about the 32. Less than 30 seconds to go. Throw for Pierce again. Doesn't get him very far. Less than 20 seconds to go. Stroud throws to his left for Nico Collins. Collins, he is going to take this one to the 23. So we go into overtime. Yet again, after a 3 overtime week last week, Jaguars get the ball after the Texans call tails. It is heads. Lawrence in shotgun formation throws for Travis Etienne, but it's a screen pass and Etienne was already wrapped up. So, 2nd and 16, Lawrence in his own end zone, looking carefully for Etienne, but throws it way out of bounds. Third down, Lawrence, patient, looks over and throws for Calvin Ridley, who gets overthrown. So, they're forced to punt. On the Texans drive, Stroud throws for, well, I guess it was supposed to be Dalton Schultz, but it was way out of bounds. Second down, Stroud carefully looks through throw for Schultz this time, overthrows him a little bit too much. Hands off to Dameon Pierce this time, and Pierce gets close enough that Kaimi Fairbairn might be able to make this one. It'd be a 58-yarder, and it doinks off the upright, so the Texans get the victory here, 27-24. They can improve to 3-4, and they take on Cincinnati next week. Very tough game for them. Jacksonville doesn't have it much easier. They drop to 2-5, and they have to take on San Francisco. Fortunately for them, that's a game that's going to be in Florida. Our final AFC South team, the Titans, had a big game this week as they head to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. Derrick Henry and Tyjae Spears returning for the game of the week. First quarter, Kenny Pickett, play action, rolls to his left. He's going to throw for George Pickens, who gets the touchdown in the back of the end zone, but it's 6-0 instead of 7-0 because Chris Boswell's extra point gets blocked. First drive for the Titans, Tannehill going to play action before throwing for Treylon Burks, who gets the 27-yard touchdown to make it 7-6 Titans. But the Steelers on their next drive give it to Najee Harris, who runs it in for 3 yards out. May comes 13-7, make it 15-7 because TJ Watt gets a 7-yard sack for a safety. Ensuing Steelers drive. His throw for Pat Freiermuth is picked off by Sean Murphy-Bunting. Second quarter, Tannehill going to throw for Treylon Burks, who has to dive for this one. Gets wrapped up while he's trying to catch it, and he fumbles it, but he fumbles it out of bounds. A couple plays later, Nick Folk would be coming out to score. 47-yard field goal makes it 15-10 Steelers. But Najee Harris going to get tossed this ball, and after getting wrapped up at about the 6-yard line, breaks into tackles and gets in for a score. 22-10 Steelers. Ensuing Titans drive, though, Tannehill going to throw for Treylon Burks yet again. He's going to make this an easy touchdown, 22-17. Ensuing drive for the Steelers. Harris going to get given the ball, and he's going to fumble it, but he fumbles it out of bounds. Steelers would be forced to punt, however. Tannehill going to get taken down by Landon Roberts as the defense just breaks through for a 10-yard sack. They drive down the field, however, and Tannehill's going to throw for Treylon Burks for a 13-yard touchdown. Makes it 24-22 Titans. At the end of the half, Harris going to get this screen pass, which he will get a first down with, but he's going to fumble the ball. Out of bounds, but still a fumble. Third quarter, Tannehill going to have a man in motion. He's going to play action, but the defense expecting it breaks through. Alex Highsmith gets the 10-yard sack. The Titans would drive down the field, and Tannehill going to hand it off to Derrick Henry, who has no one anywhere close to him for the 5-yard touchdown. 31-22, Titans have the lead. The Titans defense would get to break through with the 11-yard sack by Azeez Al-Shaair. Very next play, Harris going to get given the ball, but he's going to fumble it. Fortunately, it's right into the hands of Deontay Johnson. A couple plays later, Pickett going to get wrapped up from behind and taken down by Arden Key for the 11-yard sack. They drive down the field a little more, but Pickett gets taken down by Danico Autry instead for a 6-yard sack. But that's okay, because they keep driving down the field, and Najee Harris gets a 5-yard punch in to make it 31-29. Titans would be forced to punt, and Azeez Al-Shaair would get an 11-yard sack in the fourth quarter, but they drive down the field, and Najee Harris makes a 4-yard touchdown to make it 36-31. On the ensuing Titans drive, Derrick Henry, who just came off the injury list, injured on a 4-yard run, and Tyjae Spears, who also came off the injury list this week, replaces him. However, a couple plays later, Tannehill tries to run forward, gets taken down by Cole Holcomb for a 3-yard sack. They'd be forced to punt, but Pickett, when he tries to run forward, gets taken down by Arden Key for the 2-yard sack, so they'd be forced to punt. Tannehill and the Titans get another chance. He waits patiently before throwing for Treylon Burks, who is going to take this one for a 64-yard touchdown to put the Titans up by 2. It's 38-36. Can Pittsburgh do anything with it? Well, they hand it off to Najee Harris on the first down. Second down, Pickett going to patiently try to throw, and the defense gets to him. So he had to go for Najee Harris. Fourth down. 4th and 4. Pickett, patient, careful, throws for Deontay Johnson to his right. No one anywhere close to him. Johnson going to make this a 43-38 lead. The Titans might have one more play left in him. Tannehill going to play action before throwing for Jackson. Unfortunately, it does not matter. Kearis Jackson can't get far enough, and the Steelers come away with the close victory here, 43-37. They would improve to 5-2, and they take on the Packers next week. Tennessee, meanwhile, drops to 3-7. Tennessee, meanwhile, drops to 4-3, and they head to Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers, who had a bye week this week. Meanwhile, a struggling Vikings team headed to Atlanta to take on the Falcons first quarter. Cousins going to try and run forward with the ball, but he's going to get taken down by Troy Anderson for the 3-yard sack. A couple plays later, deep into Atlanta territory, Cousins tries to throw for Alexander Madison. He gets picked off by Jeff Okudah. Falcons would drive down the field a little more, but Younghoe Koo has to come out to make the points. 51-yard field goal puts the Falcons up first 3-0. Second quarter, literal first play of the second quarter. This throw for C.J. Ham gets picked off by Richie Grant. Fortunately, Falcons couldn't do anything with it. They were forced to punt. Next Vikings drive. Cousins with the play action. Throws for Alexander Madison over the middle, but A.J. Terrell jumps in front of it for the interception. That would help to set up this throw from Desmond Ridder to Drake London for the 38-yard touchdown. 10-0. Atlanta extends their lead. Vikings would drive down the field on their next drive, but Grady Jarrett would find Kirk Cousins and take him down for the 7-yard sack. That means they have to rely on Greg Joseph's leg. 31-yard field goal finally gives the Vikings some points. 10-3. Falcons have the lead still. Third quarter. Ridder with the man in motion, going to play action and roll to his right. Who's he looking for? Drake London, who's going to make this 44-yard touchdown, make it 17-3 Atlanta. The Vikings still have the reigning offensive player of the year. It's Justin Jefferson. He's going to take this one a 45-yard touchdown, makes it 17-10. The Falcons would drive down the field, and Ridder would hand it off to Tyler Algier, who, after zigging and zagging and dodging and bobbing and weaving, makes an 11-yard touchdown run, make it 24-10. Vikings' next drive, this throw was way off target. Don't know who it was for. But instead, it goes to Richie Grant, who nearly makes it a pick six. A couple plays later, Ridder going to hand it off to the rookie, Bijan Robinson, who runs in for a touchdown, 31-10 Falcons. On the ensuing drive for the Vikings, Alexander Madison going to run forward and get the first down, but he's going to cough up the ball when he's tackled, and it's going to get picked up by Calais Campbell, who's going to take it back the other way. That ends the third quarter. Very next play to start the fourth quarter, Ridder throws for Bijan Robinson. That hasn't worked before, but it works this time. A 44-yard touchdown catch makes it 38-10 Falcons. Ensuing drive for the Vikings, Calais Campbell gets to Kirk Cousins for the 9-yard sack. Fourth down, Cousins waiting patiently, throws over the middle for the tight end TJ Hawkinson, who's going to make this a fourth down conversion for off a 17-yard catch. They drive down the field, and Alexander Madison going to run it in from 3 yards out, 38-17. The Falcons going to make sure to put this away. Hayers Tonga would get a 7-yard sack on Atlanta, but Younghoe Koo's leg will unfortunately not be enough, so the Vikings might still have a chance after they missed the 62-yard field goal. But it is desperation mode, and Grady Jarrett makes a 9-yard sack to make it turnover on downs, and Younghoe Koo, very last play of the game, makes a 27-yard field goal to really just add on to the pain of the Vikings. 41-17, Atlanta takes the lead. They improve to 5-3, and they head to Arizona next week for what should be an easy win for them. Minnesota, meanwhile, drops to 4-4, and they get New Orleans. From one struggling purple team to the other, Baltimore Ravens hosting the Seattle Seahawks. First quarter, Geno Smith in shotgun formation. Offensive line gives him plenty of time before he throws for DK Metcalf. 34-yard touchdown puts the Seahawks up first 7-0. Ensuing drive for the Ravens, Lamar going to try and run forward before he's taken down by Jordan Brooks for a 3-yard sack. A couple plays later, they're in Seattle territory before Lamar is taken down again, this time by Draymond Jones for a 4-yard sack. A couple plays after that, Lamar tries to run forward himself. He does break through and get the first down, but he fumbles the ball, and it's picked up by Tariq Woolen, who recovers the fumble off of him. A couple plays after this, Smith going to toss it for Kenneth Walker III, and Walker going to dodge and weave and bob and juke and go all the way for the touchdown. 21-yard touchdown run makes it 14-0 Seahawks. Second quarter, Lamar going to finally get a run that'll mean something. A 2-yard touchdown run makes it 14-7. Seattle still has the lead. Ensuing kickoff return, DJ Dallas going to take this one 31 yards, but at a cost. He gets hurt on this kick return, and Zach Charbonnet is going to have to come in to replace him. Seattle would drive down the field some more, and with shotgun formation for Geno Smith, he's going to get it off in time for DK Metcalf. He's in the end zone. 21-yard touchdown makes it 21-7 Seahawks. Not to be outdone, Jackson going to throw for Mark Andrews. Lamar's toss for Andrews is going to lead to another score. 22-yard touchdown makes it 21-14 Seattle. On the ensuing kick return, Zach Charbonnet, who's coming in to replace DJ Dallas for kick and punt returns. 31-yard kick return, but they'd be forced to punt, unfortunately. Lamar going to get wrapped up But fortunately, he will break one tackle, unfortunately not able to break the other. He's taken down by Mario Edwards for a 5-yard sack. Third quarter, Lamar gets another score, a 3-yard punch in to tie it up at 21. Seahawks would be forced to punt, and Lamar going to hand it off to Gus Edwards this time. And Edwards going to make a 14-yard touchdown run to make it 28-21. Ravens have the lead for the first time today. However, on the next drive for the Seahawks, Geno throws for Jackson Smith-Njigba, the rookie, who's going to take this one 51 yards. A couple plays later, Smith in shotgun formation to end the third quarter, going to get wrapped up and taken down. He fumbles the ball, and it's recovered by David Ojabo. Unfortunately, the Ravens would be forced to punt, and on the next drive for the Seahawks, Smith going to get wrapped up and taken down by Roquan Smith for a 10-yard sack. They would be forced to punt, and Lamar going to hand it off to Gus Edwards later on once they're in Seattle territory. A 35-21 lead for the Ravens. So, Seattle in fourth down territory. Smith tries to toss it to Kenneth Walker, who unfortunately not able to get the first down, so it's a turnover on downs. To add on to the points, OBJ going to make a 13-yard touchdown catch to make it 42-21 Ravens, but Seattle will not be done here. Smith going to throw for Jackson Smith-Njigba for a 21-yard touchdown catch. Unfortunately, not enough time. Even if the Ravens were to punt it back, Boye Mafe with the 9-yard sack does not mean anything. Baltimore comes away with their second straight win, 42-28. They improved to 3-5 and take on Cleveland next week. Meanwhile, the Seahawks dropped to 3-4, and they have to head. Meanwhile, Seattle drops to 3-4, and they take on Washington in Seattle, fortunately. Meanwhile, the winless Giants heading out to Vegas to take on the Raiders. Daniel Jones and Gary Brightwell both returning for New York. First quarter, Daniel Jones going to get taken down by Chandler Jones for a 7-yard sack. They keep driving down the field, and in the red zone, Jones gets to Jones yet again for another 7-yard sack. So that means Graham Gano on the very next play has to boot it in himself. A 37-yard field goal puts the Giants up first 3-0. However, the Raiders have some weapons of their own. The first is Jimmy G, who play action and rolls to the right. The other, Davante Adams. He's going to make a 49-yard touchdown in the end zone. Makes it 7-3 Raiders. Make it 10-3 because after the Giants punt, Daniel Carlson boots it in from 32 yards out. On the ensuing kick return, Gary Brightwell going to take this one 34 yards to end the first quarter. Second quarter, however, the Giants would be forced to punt, and the Raiders, on their next drive, going to have Jimmy G play action roll to his right. He's running for his life, but that's okay because he finds Davante Adams for a 57-yard touchdown. It's 17-3 Raiders. On the ensuing Giants drive, Jones tries to run forward, and Nate Hobbs takes him down for a 2-yard sack. So that means Graham Gano has to come out yet again. 21-yard field goal makes it 17-6. Raiders still have the lead. On the ensuing kick return, DeAndre Carter, he's going to show that he too can be a great kick returner. 31-yard kick return. A couple plays later, Garoppolo in deep Giants territory, going to throw for Jacoby Myers for the 10-yard touchdown. It's 24-6 Raiders. On the ensuing drive for the Giants, Jones going to get strip sacked. Well, strip fumbled. He wasn't really sacked. He got the first down. Nate Hobbs is going to recover the fumble, and that'll help to set up Daniel Carlson with the 33-yard field goal to end the half. It's 27-6 Raiders. Third quarter. Garoppolo going to try and run forward after dropping back way too deep. Bobby Okereke and the defense there to take him down for the 8-yard sack. Very next play, Garoppolo tries to run forward again. This time it's Leonard Williams who takes him down for the 4-yard sack. They'd be forced to punt. Giants would get the ball back, and they drive down the field enough for Graham Gano to kick a 53-yard field goal. It's 27-9. Raiders still have the lead. On the ensuing Raiders drive, play action, rolls to his right. Jimmy G throws for Davante Adams, who jumps up to get this one wide open. 77-yard touchdown. It's 34-9 Raiders. On the ensuing drive, Jones going to throw for Darren Waller over the middle. Waller going to get the first down and more. He's going to get into Raiders territory, and he's going to fumble the ball, and it's going to get recovered by Jacorian Bennett, who's going to take it back the other way and get into Giants territory. They drive down the field, and Josh Jacobs going to punch it in for a 3-yard touchdown. It's 41-9 Raiders. Ensuing drive for the Giants, Gary Brightwell going to take this one 31 yards out from where he started. So, fourth quarter, very next play actually. Matt Breida going to get the handoff, and he's going to take this one into Raiders territory, and he's going to get taken down on a 38-yard run, and he is hurt. So that means he's going to get taken out of the game. And Gary Brightwell going to have to come in at running back just like he is in kick returner, which he normally does. The Giants would drive down the field, but Jones gets to Jones yet again for another 7-yard sack. A couple plays later, this throw for Gary Brightwell gets picked off by Nate Hobbs. So the Raiders just going to drive down the field, and Josh Jacobs gets a 4-yard touchdown run. It's 48-9 Raiders! Gary Brightwell, however, even though it's garbage time now, he will not be stopped. He will try to redeem him and his team. 36-yard kick return to give him better field position. Then Jones going to throw for Darius Slayton for a 9-yard touchdown, makes it 48-16 Raiders. But the Raiders would drive down the field, and Jimmy G going to patiently, with enough time, throw for Jacoby Myers. 29-yard touchdown, makes it 55-16 Raiders. On the ensuing Giants drive, Jones going to throw for Isaiah Hodgins. Can he? Could he? Will he? He will not. Well, he almost had it, but the Raiders defense catches up to him. That's all right, because Jones is going to throw over the middle for Darren Waller for a 14-yard touchdown catch. Makes it 55-23. They would go for the onside kick, and it would be recovered by the Giants, but it would not matter. The Raiders going to come away with the victory here, 55-23. They improve to 3-5, and they take on the Jets next week. Meanwhile, the Giants drop to 0-8 and have to head to Dallas. Not looking good for them. From one East meets West game to the other, the Commanders taking on the Chargers. Curtis Samuel returns for Washington, and Darius Davis returns to the Chargers. First quarter, Herbert going to drop back before looking over the middle for what seems to be Austin Eckler. Instead, he finds rookie Emmanuel Forrest, who gets the pick and takes it back the other way. First drive for the Commanders, they drive down the field. Howell play action rolls to his right. He's going to find Jahan Dotson for the 14-yard touchdown. Makes it 7-0 Commanders. On the Chargers' next drive, Herbert going to drop back, then tries to run forward, but he's wrapped up and taken down by Chase Young for a 7-yard sack. They drive down the field, and a handoff to Austin Eckler will be a 7-yard touchdown, tied up at 7. Second quarter, Commanders drive down the field. Howell throws it to his left for Curtis Samuel, who gets the 14-yard touchdown to make it 14-7 Commanders. On the Chargers' next drive, Herbert tries to run forward, but he's wrapped up and taken down by Chase Young for a 5-yard sack. They'd be forced to punt, and the Commanders would get the ball back. Howell will drop back, but Eric Kendricks and the rest of the defense breaks through for an 8-yard sack. They keep driving down the field. Howell with the play action going to roll to his right and throws over the middle for Scary Terry. Terry McLaurin with the 11-yard touchdown makes it 20-7 because unfortunately Joey Sly's extra point going off the right upright. So it's a 13-point lead for the Commanders. Herbert tries to run forward, but once again wrapped up and taken out by Chase Young for a 3-yard sack. They'd be forced to punt, and Brian Robinson would get a 6-yard touchdown run to make it 26-7 because again, Joey Sly doinks the kick off the upright, this time off the left upright, so the Commanders only have a 19-point lead. At the end of the first half, a throw for Gerald Everett. He's on his way. Can he? Could he? Will he? He'll dodge 2 tackles but can't get through the third, and that'll end time. On the start of the second half, Eric Kendricks gets a 9-yard scoop and score off Samuel Howell's strip sack, makes it 26-14. On the ensuing Commanders drive, Michael Davis then gets to Sam Howell for a 12-yard sack. They drive down the field, but Eric Kendricks is going to recover this fumble that is off the Sam Howell strip sack, and he's going to take it back the other way. It's not a scoop and score this time, but still very dangerous territory for the Commanders' offense. Fortunately, Herbert would throw over the middle, and instead of finding Austin Eckler like he wanted to, he's going to find Cameron Curl. So, Commanders' offense is safe for now, especially when Howell throws for Curtis Samuel, who gets the 12-yard touchdown catch to make it 33-14. Herbert, in shotgun formation on the next drive, will throw for Joshua Palmer. Instead, he once again finds rookie Emmanuel Forbes. Commanders will drive down the field, but Joey Sly would miss this 39-yard field goal by dunking it off the right upright yet again. The Chargers get the ball back. They try to run forward. Herbert, however, gets taken down by Cody Barton for a 4-yard sack. They'd be forced to punt. Fourth quarter, Howell going to hand it off to Brian Robinson. Robinson going to run to his right side, and he's going to fumble it, but fortunately for him, he fumbles it out of bounds. Commanders will keep driving down the field, and Howell, with play action, going to roll to his right, and he's going to throw for Jahan Dotson for a 27-yard touchdown, makes it 40-14 Commanders. On the ensuing Charger drive, Herbert dropping back before he's wrapped up and taken down by Deron Payne, sending him back 8 yards. They keep driving down the field. Herbert then throws over the middle for Joshua Palmer for the 12-yard touchdown, make it 40-21. Commanders still have the lead. On the ensuing drive for the Commanders, Howell going to get wrapped up and taken down by Joey Bosa for a 7-yard sack. Very next play, Howell with man in motion drops back yet again, going to throw for Terry McLaurin over the middle, but Terry McLaurin's going to immediately fumble the ball, and it's going to get recovered by J.C. Jackson. Jackson going to try and give as much time as he can to the Chargers. Unfortunately, they will not have that time. Herbert going to throw for Keenan Allen. He's going to get a 44-yard touchdown catch off of the dive, but it does not matter. The Commanders come away with the victory 40-28. They improved to 500 for the first time since week 2. Their next game is at Seattle. Meanwhile, the Chargers dropped to 4-3, and their next game is not an easy one as they take on Detroit. From one LA team to the other, the Rams heading to Green Bay this week to take on the Packers. Cooper Kupp returns for Los Angeles. First drive for the Rams in the game. Stafford going to get taken out by Devontae Wyatt for a 9-yard sack. They drive down the field, however, and Cam Akers going to take this one for a 13-yard touchdown to put the Rams up 7-0. Ensuing Packers drive, Love going to get bound by Byron Young for the 9-yard sack. They drive down the field and rely on Anders Carlson's leg. He misses a 56-yarder by doing it off the left upright, so it's still 7-0. Make it 14-0 as Stafford connects with Van Jefferson, a 19-yard touchdown. On the next drive for the Packers, Love tries to run forward, but he's taken down by Kobe Durant, who gets the 2-yard sack on him. But they keep driving down the field, and this throw for Romeo Doubs. He dives for it, but he still has plenty of room for the touchdown. 14-7 Rams, second quarter. Stafford tries to run forward before he's taken down by TJ Slayton for the 5-yard sack. A couple plays later, Stafford going to get wrapped up and taken down by Quay Walker for his 6-yard sack. Very next play after that, Quay Walker gets to him again for another sack, so they'd be forced to punt. And doing Packers drive, Love throws to Romeo Doubs for the touchdown. A 12-yard touchdown ties the game up at 14. Doing Rams drive, Devontae Wyatt gets to Stafford yet again, an 8-yard sack. With 15 seconds to go in the half, this kick by Anders Carlson is good. A 40-yard field goal makes it 17-14 Packers. Third quarter, the Packers defense just going to terrorize Matt Stafford all day today. Devontae Wyatt gets an 8-yard sack. On a couple plays later, Stafford throws for Tyler Higbee. He's going to take this one and bring it 17 yards into Packers territory, but he is now injured as a result. So that means Ben Skowronek is going to have to come in to replace him at the tight end position. Very next play, however, Stafford, plenty of time, going to try and run forward, but unfortunately he runs out of it. TJ Slayton gets the 5-yard sack. So that means they have to rely on Brett Maher's leg. He kicks a 51-yard field goal that ties this game up at 17 apiece. Ensuing kickoff return, Kayshawn Nixon fumbled the ball, but he fumbles it out of bounds. Still a pretty good possession for the Packers if they can make this work. Ernest Brown, though, going to try and stop that, a 4-yard sack. Not a good possession. They punt the ball, and Cam Akers punches it in from 4 yards out to make it 24-17. Ensuing Packers drive, Love throws for Christian Watson. Watson wide open, no one anywhere even close to him until they are. He gets taken down in the red zone, and Love just going to hook up with Romeo Doubs in the end zone for the 18-yard touchdown catch. Tie this game up at 24 apiece. Stafford going to get taken down by Devontae Wyatt in the fourth quarter for a 2-yard sack. They keep driving down the field, with Stafford taken down in midfield by Preston Smith for an 8-yard sack. They keep driving down the field, and Stafford going to throw for Tutu Atwell, and Atwell is going to fumble the ball. And it goes right to Devondre Campbell, who's going to recover this one and give the Packers another chance to take the lead. Love going to throw for Christian Watson to his right. Watson leaps up to grab it, and he's going to score the 48-yard touchdown, makes it 31-24. The Rams still have time. Stafford going to get taken down by Kenny Clark for the 6-yard sack. And they keep driving down the field if they can. Keep going. Stafford tries to run forward, but he's taken down by Devondre Campbell, and that was a 4th down play. So the Rams will not come away with the victory this time. Packers get the victory yet again, 31-24 in a close game. They improved to 6-1 and head to Pittsburgh next week. Rams dropped to 2-6. They got a bye week before they host the Seahawks. Meanwhile, Tyreek Hill hoping to get revenge against his old team and the Chiefs. Alec Ingold returning for the Dolphins, however. So that might help them, or it might not. Mahomes going to throw over the middle for the first drive for the Chiefs for Travis Kelce. 13-yard touchdown, makes it 7-0 Kansas City. On the first drive for the Dolphins, though, first play of the game, Tua going to throw to his right for Jalen Waddle, who is wide open on a deep bomb. An 82-yard touchdown catch ties this game up at 7. On the ensuing kick return, however, Richie James going to give Kansas City even more field position that they already need. Mahomes, though, going to get taken down by Zach Sealer for a 4-yard sack. Very next play, though, Mahomes, play action, roll to his right. You know who he's going to find? Kadarius Toney. Toney going to take this one into the Dolphins' red zone. It almost scores, but it is a 60-yard catch. Still very impressive. Chiefs can't quite do anything with it, but Harrison Butker can get a 24-yard field goal to make a 10-7 lead for Kansas City. Miami would be forced to punt, but on the ensuing Chiefs drive, Bradley Chubb gets the 2-yard sack. But the Chiefs keep driving down the field. First and goal, Mahomes, play action, rolls to his right, throws to Travis Kelce, who's already in the end zone, 9-yard touchdown catch, makes it 17-7. Second quarter, Tua throws to his right for Jalen Waddle, who's going to take this one 50 yards. Very next play, Tua in shotgun formation, going to get taken out by Jalen Watson as the defense breaks through. So, a couple plays later, Dolphins rely on Jason Sanders' leg. 33-yard field goal makes it 17-10. On the ensuing kick return, Richie James, he's going to take this one to the 25, to the 30, to the 35, to the 40, to the 45, to the 50, to the 45 of the Dolphins before he's finally taken down. I don't know what was going on with me there, but I do know the defense was on point here with Bradley Chubb getting the 11-yard sack. Very next play, Mahomes, play action, roll to his right, Kadarius Toney, 44-yard touchdown catch, makes it 24-10. He's taken down in the end zone. On the next drive for the Dolphins, they would drive down the field, but Nick Bolton would get a 4-yard sack on Tua. So that means they have to rely on Jason Sanders' leg again. 27-yard field goal makes it 24-13. Chiefs still have the lead. At the end of the half, though, Harrison Butker going to boot in a 20-yard field goal to make it 27-13 Chiefs. Third quarter, George Karlaftis going to get to Tua, as will the rest of the defense for the 7-yard sack. A couple plays later, though, Tua going to look for Jalen Waddle while nearly getting safetied. Waddle, can he? Could he? Will he? He's going to get into the red zone and make a 77-yard catch, but does not really capitalize on it much. Jason Sanders, 26-yard field will make it 27-16. Chiefs still have the lead, though. On the ensuing drive for the Chiefs, Mahomes going to get swarmed by that defense. Bradley Chubb gets a 10-yard sack. Very next play, Mahomes tries to run forward. David Long gets the 10-yard sack. And that's just the start of the pain. I hate to say this, Kansas City, but Patrick Mahomes is injured. So who has to come in? Blaine Gabbert. The Chiefs can't quite do anything with the next few plays, so Harrison Butker going to kick a 52-yard field goal. It goes through 30-16. Chiefs still have the lead. Ensuing drive for the Dolphins, Chris Jones gets the 8-yard sack, so they'd be forced to punt. On the ensuing drive for the Chiefs, Gabbert going to play action, roll to his right, and he's going to throw for Kadarius Toney. And Toney in the back of the end zone gets the 20-yard touchdown to make it 37-16. Fourth quarter, the defense going to get to Raheem Mostert. He's going to fumble, and it's going to get recovered by Brian Cook, who gets to drag an offensive player a few more extra yards. A couple plays into the Chiefs' drive, Gabbert going to play action and roll to his right. Even if it's not Mahomes, that play still seems to work for Kansas City. A 51-yard catch for Toney. A couple plays later, Gabbert going to play action, but the defense is waiting for him. And it's Bradley Chubb with the 10-yard sack. So that means they have to rely on Harrison Butker's leg. A 25-yard field goal makes it 40-16 Chiefs. On the ensuing drive for the Dolphins, they're in desperation mode. Probably garbage time by this point, but Jalen Waddle, he's going to still score a 63-yard touchdown catch to make it 40-23. They try the onside kick but would fail. Gabbert going to play action and roll to his right before a throw for Kadarius Toney in the end zone. A 27-yard touchdown makes it 47-23. Chiefs come away with the victory here. They would improve to 6-2. They get a bye week next week before they get the Week 11 game of the week against Philadelphia. Miami also gets a bye week. They take on Vegas in Week 11. Meanwhile, a potential playoff match is the Bills taking on the Bengals. Deontay Hardy returning for Buffalo. Chris Evans returning for Cincinnati. First drive for the Bengals in the game. Burrow going to throw for Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase! Can he? Could he? Will he? He will score! A 7-0 Bengals lead to start this game. First drive for the Bills. Allen going to run forward, and he's going to throw for Dawson Knox. Knox! Could he do the same thing that Jamar Chase did? Well, not if the defense says anything, but he drags the defenders a little bit extra. And on the very next play, Allen, play action, roll to his left. He's going to throw for his best weapon, Stephon Diggs. Diggs gets this 11-yard touchdown to tie it up at 7. Bengals would drive down the field, and Evan McPherson going to boot a 28-yard field goal, makes it 10-7 Bengals. Ensuing Bills drive, Allen going to get wrapped up before he's taken down by Logan Wilson for an 8-yard sack. They drive down a couple more yards, but Tyler Bass has to be the one to score for them. A 58-yard field goal, though, ties this game up at 10. Very next play, because it's the kick return right after. Chris Evans, just coming off of injury, says, look what I can do. A 49-yard kick return. Second quarter. Burrow going to try and run forward. He runs into a lineman before he's taken down by Ed Oliver for the 7-yard sack. They'd be forced to punt. Bills get the ball back, and Allen going to throw for Gabe Davis to his right. Gets the touchdown to make it 17-10 Buffalo. Ensuing drive for Cincinnati. Burrow going to throw for Jamar Chase. And Chase, could he do it a second time? He will not, but it's a 53-yard catch. Very next play, Burrow going to try and throw for Tyler Boyd. Boyd going to take this one to the 12, and he fumbles it right into Micah Hyde's hands. He's going to take it back the other way. A couple plays into the drive for Buffalo. Allen going to try and run forward before he's taken down by Trey Hendrickson for the 8-yard sack. A couple plays later, Allen going to drop back, or he throws for Dalton Kincaid, the rookie. Unfortunately, he finds Cam Taylor-Britt of the Bengals, who's going to take it back the other way. A couple plays into the drive for the Bengals. Burrow going to throw for Joe Mixon, and instead he finds Jordan Poyer. So after the Bills give it to the Bengals give it right back. Near the end of the second half, Allen going to play action, roll to his left, and says, you know what, I'm just going to run it in myself. Defense says that's a bad idea. And it is a bad idea because Josh Allen is hurt on the 5-yard run. So that means Kyle Allen has to come in for Josh Allen. Third quarter. Kyle Allen dropping back. Looking patiently. Throws for Dalton Kincaid. Kincaid leaps up to take this one. Can he? Could he? Will he? No. He's dove after for a 61-yard catch, though. And Allen just going to throw for Stephon Diggs. A 13-yard touchdown makes it 24-10 Buffalo. On the ensuing drive for the Bengals, Mixon. Well, the attempted throw for Mixon going to get picked off by Micah Hyde, who takes it back the other way and gets into the red zone in Cincy territory. A couple plays later. Hand off to James Cook. He's going to run it 19 yards for the touchdown. 31-10 Bills. Ensuing drive for the Bengals. Burrow patiently waits before throwing for Jamar Chase. And this time he's got one man to beat, and he does. No one even close to stopping him. He's going to take this for a touchdown. 31-17 Buffalo. Still has the lead. Ensuing drive for the Bills. Kyle Allen gets wrapped up and taken down by B.J. Hill for a 7-yard sack. They keep driving down the field. Kyle tries to run forward before he's taken down by Trey Hendrickson for the 3-yard sack. But they keep driving down the field. Kyle Allen, play action, roll to his left. As long as he's got Stephon Diggs, which he does, they're going to keep scoring. 38-17 Buffalo. On the kick return right after, Chris Evans going to take this one back for a 37-yard kick return. And this one's going to give them pretty good field position. Fourth quarter, Joe Mixon going to punch it in for a 1-yard touchdown run. 38-24, Buffalo still has the lead. Ensuing drive for the Bills, though. Kyle Allen going to throw for Stephon Diggs. Diggs, pretty good position for him to make a 43-yard touchdown catch, make it 45-24 Buffalo. Evan McPherson, though, going to try for the 64-yard field goal to give the Bengals some extra points. Unfortunately, does not get long enough. So that means it's garbage time. Buffalo, Kyle Allen going to throw for Stephon Diggs, and they're just going to add on to the score to make it a 52-24 lead for Buffalo. Bengals would drive down the field, and Joe Mixon going to punch a 5-yard touchdown run in 52-31. But the Bills still have Gabe Davis and all those other weapons that the Bills had for Josh Allen that are now being used by Kyle Allen. A 51-yard touchdown makes it 59-31 Buffalo. Bengals would try for one more score, but Joe Mixon fumbles the ball, and it's Christian Benford who's going to recover it. Buffalo comes away with a big win in revenge for last year's AFC Championship game, 52-31. They improve to 7-1 and take on the Broncos next week. Pretty easy game for them. Cincinnati, meanwhile, drops to 5-2, and they have to take on Houston in our Week 10 Game of the Week. Now on for a game that really just means bragging rights. The Bears taking on the Saints first quarter. Alvin Kamara going to take this one and punch it in for a 5-yard touchdown run. Makes it 7-0 New Orleans. Ensuing drive for the Bears. Justin Fields going to run forward with this one for the first down, but he is going to be injured on the 15-yard run. So that means that the backup for the Bears has to come in. Who's the backup for Chicago? Nathan Peterman. I know Chicago fans don't want to hear that, but unfortunately it is the case. Peterman, though, going to have a good showing if he can throw for DJ Moore, and DJ Moore can have a real good showing if he can score with this one. He's going to get in the red zone. He's got one man to beat, but he's not going to beat him. But it's a 60-yard catch. Still looks pretty good. And hey, a couple plays later, Peterman, play action, roll to his left again. And he's going to throw for DJ Moore in the back of the end zone. It's going to be 7-6, though, because Cairo Santos, that kick is going to doink off the right upright. Bears fans hate the word doink. On the Saints' next drive, Winston going to try and run forward, but he's going to get taken down by DeMarcus Walker. He's going to get the 6-yard sack. They're going to keep driving down the field, but Winston going to get taken down again by DeMarcus Walker for the 5-yard sack, so they'd be forced to punt. On the ensuing drive for the Bears, Peterman going to throw for Khalil Herbert. Instead, he finds Marcus May, who gets the pick. Very next play, though, Winston going to get sacked by TJ Edwards for a 10-yard sack. Very next play after that, though, a throw for Chris Olave. He is going to take this one to the house. A 42-yard touchdown makes it 14-6 Saints. Second quarter, Peterman, play action, roll to his left, running for his life. Defense breaks through, and Cameron Jordan gets the 5-yard sack. A couple plays later, Peterman, patient, looking, throws for Chase Claypool over the middle, and instead he finds Tyrann Mathieu, who gets the pick. A couple plays into the Saints drive, though, Winston going to try and run forward with it. Fortunately, going to get wrapped up before he's taken down. And it's DeMarcus Walker yet again with the 6-yard sack. They'd be forced to punt. Ensuing drive for the Bears, a throw for Darnell Mooney, picked off by Marcus May, who takes this back the other way. Marcus May is going to set up the Saints for real good field position if the Saints can utilize it. Very next play, Winston going to throw for Alvin Kamara. Instead, he finds a running forward Tremaine Edmonds, who saw that. Fortunately, Bears would be forced to punt, and the Saints get the ball back. Justin Jones would get to Jameis for a 3-yard sack. So that means they have to rely on Blake Grupe at the end of the half for a 31-yard field goal. 17-6, Saints have the lead. Third quarter, Peterman, play action, roll to his left. Who's he looking for? DJ Moore. And Moore, way deep in the Saints territory, only has one man really that he's got to beat. Can't quite beat him, but it's a 67-yard catch. And on the very next play, Peterman says, second verse, same as the first. Running for his life, barely gets it off in time. DJ Moore gets the touchdown to make it 17-13. And after the Saints punt, the Bears will drive down the field, and Cairo Santos kicks a 32-yard field goal to make it a 1-point game. Saints may need some help if they want, or at least some insurance. Winston going to throw for Chris Olave, who is deep into Chicago territory by the time he's finally taken down. A 60-yard catch. Very next play, Winston's just going to hand off to Alvin Kamara for an 11-yard touchdown run. 24-16 Saints. But this game is still within reach for Chicago if they can capitalize on it. Herbert going to get the ball. Khalil Herbert going to get the first down, but he's going to fumble the ball, and it's going to bounce around before getting recovered by Alontae Taylor of the Saints. He's going to take it back the other way and nearly gets into the red zone. A couple plays later, Winston dropping back, patiently waits, tries to run forward to get better positioning, but Jack Sanborn ready for him, 3-yard sack. A couple plays later, though, Winston going to try this again, throws for Rashid Shaheed for the 10-yard touchdown catch, 31-16 Saints. Then Brian Brees going to get to Peterman for the 7-yard sack. A couple plays later, Peterman, this seemed to be working for him all day. Play action roll to his left, throws for DJ Moore. Moore leaps up to take this one 51 yards before he's finally taken down, but they have a couple chances. Fourth down, though. Peterman dropping back, needs to get it to somebody, throws for Herbert, but he's way out of bounds, so it's a turnover on downs. The Saints, in garbage time, going to drive down the field. Alvin Kamara going to punch it in for a 1-yard touchdown run, makes it 38-16. But to add insult to injury for the Bears, Velus Jones Jr. going to be hurt on this 17-yard kick return. Deontay Foreman will come in to replace him, but will he be there to replace him on kick returns and punt returns next week? That is the question. But either way, the Saints come away with the victory here. They improve to 2-6, and next week they take on the Vikings in Minnesota. Chicago drops to 2-6. They take on the Lions. Meanwhile, the Patriots taking on the Jets this week in a game from week 3. Mac Jones comes back for New England. Mecole Hardman comes back for the Jets. First drive of the game for the Patriots. Mac Jones gets sacked by Quinnen Williams for a 10-yard sack. A couple plays later, Mac going to run forward himself, going to get the first down, and he's going to fumble it right into the hands of C.J. Mosley. He's going to take it back the other way. A couple plays later, into the Jets' first drive, Rodgers patiently throws to his left for Allen Lazard. He's going to make this 28-yard touchdown catch, make it 7-0 Jets. On the kick return by the Patriots, Marcus Jones, who is currently on defense, offense, and special teams, going to take this 46 yards into Jets territory. Mac would try to drive down the field for the Patriots, but Quinnen Williams would get a sack on for a 6-yard sack. That means they have to rely on Chad Ryland for the 30-yard field goal. 7-3, Jets still have the lead. On the ensuing drive for the Jets, Marcus Jones gets to Rodgers for the 10-yard sack. They'd be forced to punt. On the ensuing drive for the Patriots, Devontae Parker going to get a 17-yard touchdown, make it 10-7 New England. Second quarter, Rodgers tries to run forward before he's taken down by Lawrence Guy for a 7-yard sack. Very next play, Rodgers tries to run forward again. Marcus Jones gets to him again for another 7-yard sack. They'd be forced to punt. On the ensuing Patriots drive, Jones throws for Devontae Parker, and Parker, no one anywhere close to stopping him. 17-7, New England takes the lead even further. On the ensuing Jets drive, a throw from Mecole Hardman, I assume anyway, way off base, gets thrown right into the hands of Christian Gonzalez. On the ensuing drive for the Patriots, Jones going to throw this one for Jones. Marcus Jones, he's going to take this one for a touchdown, make it 24-7 Patriots. On the ensuing Jets drive, Dietrich Wise gets to Rodgers. On the very next play, Rodgers going to throw from Mecole Hardman Jr. Again, he finds Christian Gonzalez. Very next play, a toss for Ramondre Stevenson. He's going to take this one 20 yards into the end zone for a touchdown. A 31-7 Patriots lead. Pretty good lead. A couple plays into the drive for the Jets. This throw for Dalvin Cook, intercepted by Marcus Jones, is going to take it back the other way. However, a couple plays into the drive, Michael Carter II gets a 10-yard sack onto Mac Jones, and then very next play after that, Tony Adams gets a pick off of what was supposed to be from Marcus Jones. But the Patriots defense has sacking people of their own. Matthew Judon gets a 7-yard sack, and then a couple plays later, Marcus Jones to end the half with an 8-yard sack. Third quarter, Garrett Wilson going to take this one 59 yards off the throw from Aaron Rodgers. Gets them good field position for the Jets. Very next play, Rodgers, he's just going to run it in himself. How about that? A 5-yard touchdown run makes it 31-14 New England. On the ensuing drive for the Patriots, Stevenson going to fumble the ball, and this is going to get recovered by Jordan Whitehead. He's going to take it back the other way. Nearly makes it a scoop and score. It does set up good field position to allow Dalvin Cook a 14-yard touchdown run. 31-21. Patriots still have the lead, but they would punt it back. Jets do get a few extra points. Greg Zerlane with a 31-yard field goal makes it 31-24. Fourth quarter, Mac Jones throws for Mike Gesicki, but he finds Sauce Gardner. And Sauce Gardner is going to take this one back the other way. A 44-yard pick six ties this game up at 31. On the ensuing drive for the Patriots after that, Devontae Parker going to take this one into Jets territory, but he's going to fumble it, and it's going to bounce around before getting recovered by Sauce Gardner, who's going to take it back the other way yet again. Very next play, though, Rodgers, that defense gets to him. Marcus Jones gets the 11-yard sack. That means they have to rely on Greg Zerlane's leg. It's 34-31. Jets leading the Patriots? That doesn't sound right. Couple plays into the Patriots drive. Mac Jones throws for Ramondre Stevenson. It is way off base, though, as Tony Adams gets the pick. Very next play, Rodgers gonna get wrapped up and taken down by Marcus Jones, the 11-yard sack. That means they have to rely on Greg Zerlane's leg. A 53-yard field goal makes this a 6-point lead for the Jets. The Patriots still could take back the lead. Mac Jones dropping back before throwing for Devontae Parker. Devontae Parker gonna take this one all the way to the 21, where he'll fumble it, and it gets recovered by Carl Lawson, who takes it back the other way. This one all but put away as Greg Zerlane going to kick a 41-yard field goal. The New York Jets beat the New England Patriots 40-31. The Jets improved to 4-3 and have to head to Las Vegas next week to take on the Raiders. The Patriots, seems like it's every other week. It's win then lose, then win then lose. That means they might get a win next week against the Colts. Now for our final game of the week, the Cardinals taking on the Browns. Emari DeMarcado and Greg Dortch return for Arizona, while Donovan Peoples-Jones returns for Cleveland. First quarter, first drive for the Browns. Amari Cooper going to get this throw for Deshaun Watson. It's going to be a 55-yarder. Not quite a score because the defense does take him down from behind, but that's all right because a couple plays later, Nick Chubb punches in from 5 yards out. 7-0, Browns take the lead first. On the ensuing drive for the Cardinals, Josh Dobbs going to throw for Marquise Hollywood Brown. Dodges one tackle, can't quite dodge the other. Still a 51-yarder. That'll help to set up this Matt Prater 38-yard field goal, which he doinks off the left upright. That doesn't sound right for Matt Prater. On the ensuing drive for the Browns, Donovan Peoples-Jones going to take a 34-yard touchdown to make it 14-0 Cleveland. On the ensuing drive for the Cardinals, Josh Dobbs, patient, looks to his left for what was supposed to be Marquise Brown. Instead, gets to be a jumping pick by Denzel Ward. Nice work by Ward there. They drive down the field a little bit, and Nick Chubb, just give this ball to him, and he will find a way into the end zone. A 37-yarder makes it 21-0 Browns. In the ensuing drive for the Cardinals, James Conner going to fumble it out of bounds. They're not going to say it's a first down, and unfortunately, Cardinals will be forced to punt. Second quarter, K'Trell Clark going to pick off David Njoku, so that'll help to set up the Cardinals getting another chance. But Anthony Walker Jr. going to get to Hobbs for a 10-yard sack. They'd be forced to punt. In the ensuing Browns drive, Watson going to play action roll to his right before throwing for Amari Cooper for the 26-yard touchdown, which he leaps to get. 28-0 Browns. Ensuing drive for the Cardinals, Josh Dobbs taken down by Myles Garrett, a 9-yard sack. They would drive down the field far enough for Matt Prater to kick a 54-yard field goal. 28-3, Browns have the lead. On the ensuing kick return, though, Pierre Strong just going to flash some talent. He's going to take this one 33 yards. Not that it means anything because it's the end of the half. Third quarter, Matt Prater going to kick another field goal. This one a 50-yarder, which goes in. It's 28-6 Browns. On the ensuing drive for Cleveland, Watson going to get taken down by Lecky Fotu for a 7-yard sack. For a punt. Darius Smith can sack as well as he does on Josh Dobbs here for a 3-yard sack. They'd be forced to punt. Ensuing drive for the Browns. Watson going to toss it for Nick Chubb. He's going to run it in for a 20-yard touchdown run. 35-6 Browns. Myles Garrett, though, not done terrorizing Josh Dobbs just yet. 8-yard sack. Sends him back. Very next play. Dobbs, patient, plenty of time. Throws for Rondale Moore. Moore leaps up to get this one. No one anywhere even close to him. This is an 87-yard touchdown by the Cardinals. Makes it 35-13 Cleveland. Fourth quarter, Watson. The defense gets to him. Kaiser White gets the 9-yard sack. They'd be forced to punt. On the Cardinals' next drive, Dobbs throwing for Brown. Marquise Hollywood Brown. Can he? Could he? Will he? He's got one man to beat, but he can't beat him. But it's an 81-yard catch. On the very next play, though, Dobbs is going to get sacked by Myles Garrett. Told you he wasn't done. A 9-yard sack for him. But a couple plays later, Dobbs going to be patient, looking, throws it for a screen pass for Connor. He's got no one close to him, and he gets a 2-yard touchdown catch. Make it 35-20. Browns still have the lead. And then Budda Baker gets an interception. He is going to try and do everything he can, as will all the Cardinals. Dobbs going to throw for Marquise Brown. This time there is no stopping him. A 70-yard touchdown means that the Cardinals are only down by 8. And hey, if Josh Woods can get to Deshaun Watson like he does here for the 3-yard sack, that might mean something. Cleveland going to keep driving, though. First and goal, an 8-yard run, though, by Nick Chubb. Going to put this one away. 42-27. Got to give props, though, to the Cardinals. They played with heart. The Browns, just too much for them. Cleveland improves to 6-1. They got a big game next week. They want revenge against the Ravens in Baltimore. Meanwhile, Arizona drops to 1-7, and they have to host the Atlanta Falcons. However, before we get going, a little bit of a recap of where our standings look here in the NFL. Starting with the AFC in the East, the Bills have a commanding lead over the rest of their division at 7-1. The closest team to them is the Jets at 4-3. Still quite a surprise by them. Half game behind them are the Patriots, who they just beat. They're at 4-4, and they are a game ahead of the Dolphins, who are at 3-5. Into the AFC North, the Cleveland Browns now have sole possession of the AFC North at 6-1. They are a game ahead of the Bengals and Steelers, who are tied for second place in that division at 5-2 each. The Ravens at 3-5. They're in the basement, but they're catching up. Don't underestimate them. In the AFC South, the Titans have the lead at 4-3, barely having the lead. They are a game ahead of the Texans, who are at 3-4 and in second place. They are also ahead of the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are at 2-5, and a half game behind the Jaguars are the Colts, who are at 2-6. And finally, in the AFC West, the Chiefs pulling further ahead with their lead. They are at 6-2. Right behind them, though, are the LA Chargers, who are at 4-3. They could still take that lead if they were given the right plays and the right wins. The Raiders behind them at 3-5, and then I have a game behind Vegas are the Denver Broncos at 2-5. Moving on to the NFC. In the East, the Cowboys still have the lead at 6-1, but a new team has come into second place, the Washington Commanders at 4-4. They now have a game lead over the Eagles, who are at 3-5, but the Eagles can count their blessings that they're not the Giants, who are still winless at 0-8. In the NFC North, the Lions and Packers are now tied at 6-1. And they've got a big game coming up because in 3 weeks, they meet on Thanksgiving in Detroit. That could help determine who wins this division. The Vikings, though, don't count them out. They may be struggling, but they can find their footing. They can still take that division. They're at 4-4. The Bears, they're at 2-6. They need some help. In the NFC South, a lot of people didn't expect this. The Panthers, a pretty decisive lead at 6-1, running this division and running away with it. They're ahead of the Falcons, who are at 5-3. Both of these teams, though, miles ahead of the Buccaneers, who are at 2-5, and the Saints, who are at 2-6. And in the NFC West, it's still the 49ers division to run with. They are at 5-2. They are ahead of the Seahawks, who are currently at 3-4, and everything below them is just sad. The Rams down at 2-6, and the Cardinals down at 1-7. And that's going to do it for us this week. A reminder that over the weekend, we will have our 2023 halfway roundup. That will be coming up this weekend, alongside right after the Week 10 game of the week between the Houston Texans and the Cincinnati Bengals. And then we have Tecmo Rewind for Week 10 a few days after that, followed by our Week 11 game of the week, the Super Bowl 57 rematch between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. For all of us here at SVGN, the Sports Video Game Network, I'm your host, Joe, saying good night, everybody!